What's happening, my friends? What it is? It's your boy Arrington Gavin, and you're joining, and I meant to say and welcome, and welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day, whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz. We're diving deep and keeping it real, so do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. Look, my friends, welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Thank you for joining me on this great evening. Thank you so much for taking the time out your busy schedule to tune into the program. I truly appreciate it, my friends. Look, we are a growing grassroots independent platform that is growing each and every day. Subscription, viewerships, you name it, we continue to grow, but we couldn't do it without the help of you all, the listeners and viewers out there. So I truly appreciate it. Look, new episodes drop weeknights, uh, uh, Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. on our radio affiliate, WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. Shout out to Dallas, Georgia, as well as online at WDJYFM.com. You can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, you name it, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check us out. You can stream us from the platforms of YouTube as well as Rumble. Our channel on YouTube is R Smooth Club Media. Okay, the letter R, and then Smooth Club Media, and then Rumble at the Arrington Gavin Show. So multiple ways you can catch in and stay afloat to the program. Also, do me a favor, follow us on our social media platforms like X as well as Instagram. We have a lot of great content. Any stories that I might not have the time to bring up here on the show, I talk about it on through social media. And yeah, y'all, I appreciate it. We're gonna try and impact a lot within this hour. We're gonna talk about Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. They received an ass whooping not too long ago, and so we are gonna talk about him because he happened to take his anger out on the little guys, and it's uncalled for. So we're going to talk about it here. Also, Lieutenant Governor, Republican nominee for governor of North Carolina, Mark Robinson, he files a lawsuit against CNN after their report of his pastime allegedly on a porn site, and he's suing them. And I'll speak a little more on that lawsuit. Also, comedian Aries Spears, he's catching some heat after giving his thoughts on WNBA star Angel Reese. Let's see, what else do we have in store for you all. And we're going to talk a little bit of other stuff, keeping it in the realm of politics. And so yeah, hope you guys have fun. Hope you all are interested, and will enjoy the conversation today. Look, before we move forward, I always have to acknowledge and thank our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin Show, like our friends over at Ingenious Gin. That's right, Ingenious Gin is a black-owned rose gold gin that keeps you just feeling good. It's a great celebratory beverage, black-owned, veteran-owned. It's with a unique spin of the original gin. This rose gold, for those who are watching, you can see the complexion of this beautiful bottle. It's a rose gold gin. I myself, I am my drink of choice is usually bourbon or whiskey, right? I like my brown. But I'm telling you, after having Ingenious Gin, I'm like, oh man, y'all done made me a believer. So I do partake in only one gin, and that is Ingenious Gin. For more information about them, go to their website at www.ingeniousgin.com. For those who are watching this, I have a 20% off discount code at the bottom. So when you go on their website, you're at checkout, you apply that code and you'll get 20% off. Or you can also go to your local spirit store or ABC store, grab yourself a bottle of Ingenious Gin. Support black owned and veteran owned, because here in this program we support all, especially small business owners like myself. I understand the difficulty it is, and you have to work even harder being a small business. So I just want to always want to give respect and give credit where credit is due, and always know that, hey, look, the Arrington Gavin Show is an advocate for small business, black owned, minority owned, as well as veteran owned businesses. So yeah, check them out. Do me a favor, my friends. Make sure to drink responsibly. All right, guys. So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have our fun fact of the day, and then we'll get going with some of these stories. So don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't change that dial. We'll be right back.
You know, just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
All right, my friends, welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. I am your host, Arrington Gavin. Let's get it going with the fun fact of the day, as we like to start it off before we get going with our regular topics and stories of the evening. So today's fun fact is about an individual by the name of Jeanette Rankin. For those who don't know who Jeanette Rankin, let me give you a little history lesson on her. So Jeanette Rankin was an American politician, women's activist, women's rights advocate, and she became the first woman to hold a federal office in the United States. She was elected as in Congress for the state of Montana in 1960. She served one term. She still remains. She passed away, I believe, in the early 70s at the age of 92. But she remains the only woman ever elected in Congress from the state of Montana. But here's the fun fact, though. The fun fact is that she was elected to Congress 4 years before women could even vote. Let me let you sink, absorb all that in. Let me let you sink that in. Jeanette Rankin was elected to Congress in 1916 from the state of Montana, 4 years before women could even vote. Talk about a hard job. So she had to earn the vote, earn the respect, earn all the trust from only males that was allowed to vote. White males, that was, because we're talking about 1916. And on top of that, first of all, we gotta talk Montana, because it says here, now she was elected in 1916. She remains the only woman ever elected to Congress from Montana. Now we're in 2024. Montana, y'all got to do better, because it'll be 2025 by the time you know it. So y'all have to do better. Shame, 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 shame. Y'all gotta do better. So that is our fun fact of the day. I hope you enjoyed. I thought that was a really great and informative one. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, y'all, I don't know. I might need to do a whole episode just on Montana because Montana got, like I said, they gotta do better. They gotta do better. So let's get it going with our first story of the day. Um, Mark Robinson. I've talked about him previously on the program. He was a very interesting individual, and not interesting in a good way. He was you can say a far right politician, very conservative, known for saying some off the wall viral moments. I don't need to repeat it. He's also the Republican nominee for governor of the state of North Carolina. He's already serving as lieutenant governor, and he's just again, I go back to that word interesting. He's a very interesting guy. Um, Recently they found some, and I mean the media reporters, journalists, had found some dirt, right? Past clips of him saying some off the wall stuff, past personal things. He speaks so against, you know, all this other stuff, and then they find, of course, they end up catching him uh, on a porn site, allegedly. Okay, because there is a lawsuit happening. That's why I brought it up. So, uh, Mark Robinson is suing CNN, and let me go ahead and play this soundbite for you, and we'll talk on the other side. Here we go in. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see what Mark got to say. Let's see what Mark got to say about all this. Because he called everything lies as false stuff, but they're like, "Sir, your picture, you're there. Like, what's up?" Let's just play this, and then I'll talk with you on the other end of this clip.
We are taking the first step to do exactly what I said I was going to do after these scurrilous attacks were launched against myself and my family. We are holding CNN accountable, and we are going to get to the bottom of what's going on here, and we are glad to be here today to be able to do that. I said at the very beginning, what this amounts to is, to quote Clarence Thomas, this is a high-tech lynching on a candidate who has been targeted from day one by folks who disagree with me politically and want to see me destroyed. Today.
So, I won't speak on anything because, like I said, it's a lawsuit. Hey, look. But once again, how can I put this? When individuals, when folks tend to come at you so strong, guns blazing, with attacks on this, attacks on that, sometimes it can even get personal, right? It always ends up not good for them when they're like, wait a minute, you just got caught doing this. You just got caught doing this. So now what's up? Now, okay, I got to take matters in my, I got to do something about it to shut them up, right? Because we're in political season, right? And let's be honest, politics, especially when it comes to campaign season, they get so cutthroat and it's not even funny. The smear ads on everybody's TV screens, which people will hate because it'll be during the heat of the moment of whether you're watching the a football game, basketball game, whatever, you watch your favorite show, and then boom, here comes another ad. Did you hear about John Doe? Did you hear about such and such? How can you trust this person leading you to the promised land, and they can even lead themselves? Oh yeah, they're running all right, running with your money. Yada yada yada. Like, I mean, come on, we've heard all this slogans. This article is reported by MSNBC and says here, uh, again, Robinson sues CNN as his hobble campaign limps towards election day. That's reported by Jahan Jones. It says here Robinson seeks revenge. North Carolina Republican gubernatorial nominee, Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, has filed a defamation suit against CNN over the outlets reporting on chat room posts he allegedly shared on a pornographic site between 2008 and 2012. The CNN report linked Robinson to an account that made post on the website Nude Africa, in which the user, who identified as a black Nazi, admitted to peeping on women um, as a teenager and expressed support for slavery. Now, the lawsuit, it says here, the lawsuit will seek, which seeks $50 million in damages, also names a man named, I won't mention the name as a defendant, a former clerk at the porn store, who told news outlets that Robinson had been a regular customer in his store in the past. Now, money stands by his, stands by his claims, and put Robinson alleged allegations, in his suit, that he merely stopped by the store occasionally to socialize. Mm. I'm sorry. You come in the nasty store just to socialize with the employees, just to socialize. So you ignored everything in sight and just said, "Hi, friend, how are you?" Like, okay. As I continue, it says here Robinson denied making the post. At the time, CNN initially published its report, and his lawyer accused the outlet of a journalistic hit job. A press conference, which I just played you the soundbite. Robinson called the report a high-tech lynching, but neither he nor his lawyer provided any evidence that would appear to contradict CNN's reporting. Oh boy. Here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Because of this, Robinson has lost some key endorsements, like Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin. He pulled away his endorsement from uh 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 North Carolina gubernatorial nominee Mark Robinson. So boom, that's an endorsement he no longer has. Which, look, Glenn Youngkin is a Republican governor out of the state of New York, state of Virginia, my home state, and he has quite high political stock value amongst the Republican Party. Now, I'll be honest, in the state of Virginia, he is no fan favorite. I mean, he's been known to being the most vetoed governor. He lost the House, he lost the Senate for the state of Virginia. So not too not a good look for the career of Glenn Youngkin. But he's one of the people that had pulled his endorsement. There's been other people that have said, hey, maybe Robinson should step down. The current governor, Roy Cooper, has said he should step down. When you have these allegations, and again, allegations, innocent until proven guilty, and there is no lawsuits, to my mistake, that's filed against Mark Robinson. He's the one, filing lawsuits. But like I said, they have a lot of dirt. The media, the outlet CNN apparently, does, and things like that. And so people are like, look, Mark Robinson could have a huge impact on the presidential race, which could be possible because, look, he is a Trump endorsed candidate. Donald Trump has not pulled the endorsement away from he hasn't pulled his endorsement. He still is very much endorsed, is still endorsing this gentleman to be the next governor of North Carolina. There was a video clip of Robinson speaking at an event, and he literally had a cutout board of Donald Trump standing right behind him. So he's not, that's in my mind still helping Robinson, and of course, your diehard Republican, far right conservatives that enjoy him too. But yes, just to keep you guys up to speed on that, Robinson is still very much in the race. He is not leaving, and he's trying to, if he loses, he's trying to, take some money out of CNN's pocket. All right, he's like, hold up, I'm suing them because they messing up my campaign. So we will continue to follow up with this and see how this moves forward. But I'm gonna digress from this story and move it on to, let's go to sports. Let's settle down for politics, for a minute. I'm gonna go to sports. And the reason I want to go to sports is because I recently witnessed a game that I never thought I would ever witness in my life. So one Sunday, a couple of Sundays ago, or this past season, the Detroit Lions played the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas, in Austin, Texas, or Dallas, Texas, excuse me, where at the Cowboys home stadium. I think it happened to be like Jerry Jones' birthday that day or birthday weekend. I'm not sure, but he just turned 82 years old. Playing them at Dallas's home turf. Detroit is. Now, Detroit is coming off a hell of a season last year. They made it very, very far in the playoffs. I mean, I think they played in like the conference championship game, if I'm not mistaken. They really could have, they had a huge, success story. Shout out to Coach Dan Campbell. Um, when I tell you that the Lions whipped that tail, when I tell you they had they had the Dallas fans out there crying. I mean, little kids was crying. I mean, one kid I really thought he would cuss for a second, like a little 9-year-old was saying, "Man, what the?" Like if he bet some money on that fight or something, he probably bet some animal crackers or I don't know. Probably bet a video game with some Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something. I don't know, but people were hot. They were so furious. Because let's be honest, Dallas has the worst luck, in my opinion. You just signed your star quarterback to a record-breaking deal with I believe like over 30 million per year. It was like a 200 something $1 million contract for 4 years, 5 years. I can't remember the exact number amount, but it was a record breaking deal, making him the highest paid quarterback ever, right? Ever. Dak Prescott. Who's not a bad quarterback, right? To me, he kind of doesn't do good in under pressure like every other Dallas Cowboys quarterback, in my opinion. Besides Troy Aikman. But Dak is he's a great quarterback. I believe he has the most passing yards right now. I'm not sure. I think he might have I don't know about touchdowns, but I know he has the most passing yards so far within the season, regular season. So I'm like, okay, yeah, doing pretty good. You got a spectacular wide receiver in CD Lamb. I mean, that Joker can play. They just re-signed Ezekiel Elliott. Not really a big, huge, come up for them. Zeke is he's kind of slowly but surely. If he doesn't step it up, he will continue to be most likely a backup running back. I don't think he will be a starter anywhere. I mean, name recognition wise, yeah, he can, he can help bring in some seats, but he's no Derrick Henry. He's no Saquon Barkley. Okay. He's no I can't remember the Saints running back to save my life, but yeah, he's none of those guys, right? So they played the Cowboys and they played them and beat them at their home turf. And it was, I believe the score was 47-9. 47-9 was the final score. Now, the last time I saw a 47-9 in the NFL, let me think about it. Never. 47 points in the NFL, you're putting up high school numbers in the big leagues. You rarely even see that in college. And if you do see it in college, it's because a high D1 school is playing a freaking D3, small D3 school with no name recognition ever. They just playing to get paid. They beat the brakes off them. And really, that game is one of those games where it's like, okay, you fire your head coach. You fire somebody. You fire you're in the defensive coordinator. You are fired. You're fired. You're firing somebody. Now, as of right now, as we're talking right now, Mike McCarthy still has his job. Now, so much stuff could occur. It's on the fence. I'll say that his job status is on the fence. He could be out in any moment. He could keep his position. We will never know. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, y'all, because Jerry Jones, he normally goes on a radio show out there in Dallas during a weekly interview spot that he does. And it's always like, okay, after the game kind of interview, like a follow-up, or hey, look, what can we expect for the next game? It's just stuff like that. He has a weekly spot on this show. And instead of me talking it, let me go ahead and play you the clip.
Ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You're not going to figure out it's what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? You're here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights. This is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
Get
a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the team is.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You're not going to figure out it's what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you, you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry,
okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights? This is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my job is to ask
why.
Get
a job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
I mean, what a jerk thing to say. Like Jerry, shut up, retire, go play, like do something. You are the kryptonite to your own squad. You are the kryptonite to the Dallas Cowboys. You're the kryptonite to the whole culture over there. You, sir, are just the cause of all the hell that's happening at Dallas Stadium. Okay, because here's the thing: there was a recent clip that showed your helicopter landing on a practice field during your team's practice. Why are you let the coaches do their job? That's the worst thing. And look, I'm a small business owner. I have no status compared to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is a multi-billionaire, very successful guy. Look, that's his realm. Obviously, what he's doing is working, right? But I'll just say this. So these are for all the business owners out there listening and watching. When you hire someone to do a position, you specifically hire them because either A, you don't know what the hell you're doing and you need a professional that expertise is in that field, or B, you do know, but you just can't do so many jobs all by yourself. You need assistance, and you just need, it will make the job go a lot better if you find somebody that can hold that position. All right. Now, Jerry Jones' experience in sports, he played college football, the end. All right. That was his experience as a in the sports world of football. All right. Now, Jerry Jones, he's a billionaire. He has other entities, other investments that has worked for him. Jerry Jones has never coached the Dallas Cowboys ever. He's never played for the Dallas Cowboys. He's only owned the Dallas Cowboys. All right. He's owned the Dallas Cowboys. When I say that he attacked the little man is because not too long ago, Jerry had a sit down with Stephen A. Smith, host of First Take, host of the Stephen A. Smith Show, uh, world-renowned, successful sports journalist, a world-renowned critic of the Dallas Cowboys, and he had a one-on-one conversation, and asked Jerry some tough questions, and Jerry respectfully answered it. There was no back and forth or anything like that. Why? Because see, Stephen A. Smith knows what he's talking about. Stephen A. Smith is at a higher stature. You can't try and cross over Stephen A. Smith when you're getting interviewed by him. Now, these two radio hosts, Dallas radio hosts, look, they're just asking Jerry, what's happening? Oh, Jerry gonna threaten him. Oh, you ain't supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be doing this and that. And if you're not going, if you're gonna keep on asking me this, now find somebody else to answer me these questions. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. Like even I'm unaware. The way it sounds like is that he owned the station. I'm assuming because again, he's in Dallas. He probably has a lot of ventures out there. But even if he didn't own, just threatening to say, "Okay, I'm going to another show to do a weekly spot," is it's in the words of President Joe Biden, it's a bunch of malarkey. All right, it's a scare tactic. You're running away from the truth. All right. You're literally running away from people that wants to ask questions. Their job is to criticize. Their job is to ask questions. They don't ask you pre-questions ahead. No, they ask you questions that's off the top of the dome, and you should be willing to answer them, especially when you committed to do a weekly spot at that time slot. Like, what's the deal, man? I mean, some of the comments is hilarious. This is one gentleman said, him threatening someone's job is exactly why they are where they are. He wants yes men around him and only his opinion matters. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. Look at all the yes men he's had in the past, right? What has that got? What has that led them? Have they made it even near a conference championship? No. Have they won a Super Bowl since? No. All it has caused him is burnt bridges and just losing seasons. All right. That's all that it caused him. Making it close, but not making it as close. That not making it too far. So here's the funny thing. This is reported by Sports Illustrated. On First Take recently, Shannon Sharp went in on Jerry Jones. So let me see here. Okay, and I quote: "He put a man in a fear for he put a man in fear for his job. When asked what he thought about Jones' comments, it says Shannon Sharp says, I detest, I despise someone that will prey on the weak. And because Jerry Jones is in an advantage situation because he has the power in this situation, he would actually say that publicly. That tells me a lot about a man." Okay, Shannon. That tells me a lot about a man that has power and would abuse the power to tell that man, I will get someone in here to ask me favorable questions. What do you think his job was? Shannon went on to say, Jerry wants all the credit when things go well, but none of the blame. He told us how many times the buck stops with me. That's true. Any deal that's ever happened had either signed off on it or had got notified of it. Now you're getting trounced, you getting run through like Sherman went through Atlanta during the Civil War, and now you don't want no part of it when they ask you about it. I don't take this lightly. If the Cowboys don't win another playoff game or another game, as long as Jerry Jones is the owner, I'll be the happiest man in the world. Oh, I couldn't agree more with Shannon Sharp, man. I couldn't agree more. The worst thing to see is a person that abuses his power and his authority. No one should ever work in an environment at all, especially in today's time. No one should ever have to go to work scared out their mind and be like, there's my boss. Like, here's the thing. I do believe that there should not be a friendly relationship between an employee and a boss or a supervisor. That I'm cool with. Like, I mean, you're not supposed to be friends with everybody that you work with, but nor should that person always continue to look down on you and threaten you of your position for you to do your job. He's doing his job. So in that case, I hope everybody continues to bash the Dallas Cowboys. I hope the Dallas Cowboys lose every single game this season, my friends. Okay, why? Because sorry, your owner put the dark cloud over your team. With comments like those, in my opinion, I hope they lose forever. All right, like Shannon Sharp said, as long as Jerry Jones is owner, I hope they lose every damn game. You hear me? And I don't care, all you Dallas Cowboys fans out there, y'all need to shut it on up, because y'all need to take keep your owner foot to the fire. Y'all need to criticize him too, because that's unfair for you. That's unfair for you guys, because y'all need to have an answer for, after losing a game 47-9, and you have all the talent in the world. Yeah, you might have a couple of injuries, but you have talented individuals. I mean, literally, I don't even criticize Coach Mike McCarthy, because guess what? He is a champion. He was a champion. He won a Super Bowl ring with the Green Bay Packers. Okay, he got a ring. He was hired to y'all. He was hired to y'all as a champion. Okay, he's had some good seasons with y'all, but y'all haven't won one. So again, shame on Jerry. That's what I gotta say. Shame on Jerry. You screwed your team, buddy. You probably added more bad luck to the rest of your season, in my opinion. But that's just me, my friends. That is just me. All right, look, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, my friends. You are listening to the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not change that dial.
Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. Order our scented beard oils and beard balms to help you maintain and grow the perfect beard. Order today. Try our men's care products like the full body exfoliating cleansing bars, body wash, smooth stash, and more. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Rugged Evolution Beard Care. We're your luxury but affordable men's care line. And remember,
rugged is the new smooth.
All right, what's happening, my friends? Welcome back to the show. Welcome back. All right, check this out. So, comedian Aries Spears, Mad TV alum, he decided to share his opinion on the one outlet that you don't ever want to share your opinion, especially for a fan favorite public figure. He decided to go on social media, the gram. IG. All right. He decided to go on social media, sharing his thoughts on WNBA star Angel Reese. All right. Here's a clip from that, and then I'll meet you on the other side.
Oh, what up? It's your boy Aries Spears here. Listen, man, I know I'm about to catch some flack for what I'm about to say. And let me just say, I'm all about my fellow Black brothers and sisters being down for one another. Support Black businesses, support Black causes, support our black women, support each other, power to the people. But to all the people about the Angela Reese versus Caitlin Clark thing, to all the black people out here trying to make it a racial issue, y'all delusional. Angela Reese is garbage, pure garbage. When you look at it from in terms of a skill set, her versus Caitlin, she's garbage. She just throws the ball up and plays like she's part of the Special Olympics. She plays like a toddler. There's no finesse, no smoothness, no beauty, no poetry, no skill set to her game at all. She's garbage. Stop being delusional.
Ooh, wow. Tell us how you really feel, Aries. I mean, how many times did he say garbage? Garbage. I mean, geez, Louise. Didn't see that coming. I will say, did not see that coming. Now, recently, the Rookie of the Year honor went to Caitlin Clark. And well deserved. Caitlin Clark, she played her tail off. But I got to push back on Aries Spears. Angel Reese is no scrub. I mean, she has earned the right to be considered one of the greatest current, great stars in the WNBA. She is one of the main reasons why the WNBA has garnered this high, this revenue base that it has been. She's one of the reasons why the last draft had, I believe, over 5 million eyes that in viewership numbers. I mean, she is one of the reasons. Again, she is one of the prime faces of the WNBA. Yes, there has been a debate between who's better, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. And honestly, a person I should have contacted to ask is my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is a basketball guru. She's a former collegiate player herself. She even, spoke to me about before she had thought about trying out for the WNBA, the start of the WNBA, because I think it started like in '96, and she thought about trying out. I mean, that's how aggressive and how much passion and her expertise is when it comes to not just sports but basketball, especially basketball. And so she's team Angel all day. For one, I'll give my 2 cents. 2 different positions, right? You got a point guard, you got a forward. 2 different positions, or you might even have does she bounce between center? I think she bounces between center at some points. Yeah, she does. Yes, she does. So yeah, 2 different positions, 2 different personalities. 2 different positions requires 2 different skill sets, right? Okay. Aries Spears, I don't know your experience in basketball, bro. I remember Aries Spears used to be a skinny guy, and now he looks like he don't miss a meal. All right. He is a person where, like I said, he was one of the top tier comedians, especially when Mad TV was very relevant. Now he is a guy that goes, just like a comedian. He performs, gets show to show. He has a podcast. And I say all that to say, this is obviously a moment where Aries Spears is trying to just become relevant again. All right, sorry to say it to you, Aries, but he's just trying to become relevant again. Stand up wise, he's all right. I mean, how many comedians do we have that impersonates? All right, was he one of the original? Maybe of my era, but there probably was somebody before him that can really do some great impersonations. But he does great impersonations, but it's so many other folks here. Okay, what separates you from the other ones, Aries? Like I said, he has a podcast. He's just a guy that really, doesn't care. He's unfiltered, okay, typical kind of comedic thing. But again, I have this as found his new path. Is he now a sports commentator now? You see, it's working good for Mace and Cameron. So is he trying to get his put his bid into being the next sports commentator? Does he want to go on First Take? I see. Well, they already took Undisputed, so darn, you missed out on that one. But hey, Skip is trying to look for some co-host for his YouTube. He's thinking about doing a YouTube debate show, so maybe you can apply to that, Aries. But again, so many people has already criticized him. And let me see if there's any no comments I can find at the moment, but he has gotten huge flack, especially from black Twitter. Okay, on social, black social media, because hey, they look at this as a typical black man bringing a black woman down and ignoring all her accomplishments. And it could possibly be, or like I mentioned earlier, just a person trying to be relevant again. I won't spend too much time entertaining this, because it is no argument. It is no debate. I mean, is again, he has no backing, no experience to say, okay, that's just his honest opinion. And look, and he is entitled of his opinion. I do think it's annoying when people slam him on social media so bad and people react. I'm like, look, that's his opinion. Who cares? That's his opinion. Obviously, you disagree with it, and there's some people that probably agree with it. All right, so that's his opinion. How am I looking with time? I got about less than 15 minutes left. I do want to speak on, my friends, the the media. So recently, um, Kamala Harris has been going on a slew of shows. As I mentioned before, um, I mentioned on the last show, she did The View. She's done this podcast called Call Her Daddy, which is a very popular podcast. It attracts a lot of young people. Um she's done All That Smoke, All in the Smoke, is that what it's called? It's hosted by former NBA stars Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Um she's done MSNBC, she's done uh, literally every single news outlet, radio as well. She recently just did a sit down with Charlemagne the God for a very in-depth one-on-one conversation. Let me play you a few sound bites from that, and then I'll also play a sound bite from a sit down she did with Brett Barr of Fox News, which, as I mentioned the last time, guys, is one of the big things that I do want to see candidates do, is do those sit down interviews in the Lions Den. Don't go to just places you already know you got to get catered to, and Miss Vice President, or Mr. President, like, come on now, like, let me play you this and then I'll talk more about it.
You did just walk in. You was kind of late, so
well, I try to be on time.
Well,
apparently I'm 40 seconds late. You're right.
Well, you are black, so okay. Now, now one thing they've been saying, a lot of your press hits get criticized. Folks say you come off as very scripted. They say you like to stick to your talking points, and some media says you have
that would be called discipline.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but go on.
No, I was going to say, some people say you have an inability to fearlessly say who you are and what you believe. I know that's not true. But what do you say to that criticism? And is it fair for SNL to make fun of it?
Hasn't Maya Rudolph been wonderful?
Yes.
I think I have nothing but admiration for the comedy, and I think it's important to be able to laugh at yourself and each other.
But what do you say to people who say
in the spirit of obviously comedy, and not belittling people as my opponent would do.
But what do you say to people who say you stay on the talking points?
I would say you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I love having conversations, which is why I'm so happy to be with you this afternoon. And the reality is that there are certain things that must be repeated to ensure that I have everyone know what I stand for and the issues that I think are at stake in this election.
Mm-hmm.
And so it requires repetition. Some people say that until someone has heard the same thing at least 3 times, it just doesn't stay with you. So repetition is important. And for that reason, yes, at my rallies, I say the same thing when I go to Detroit as I do in Philly, as I do wherever I am, to make sure that people hear and receive what I think are some of the most critical issues that are at stake in this election.
There has to be a high level of anxiety, too, when you have these conversations.
So that was one question that Charlemagne the God of The Breakfast Club, a very highly successful syndicated radio program. I hope to get to their level one day, my friends. But yeah, he, Charlemagne the God is known to be a no BSer. He'll ask hard-nosed question. He would criticize them. He has a segment on his program called Donkey of the Day, and he has been known to criticize and ask the hard-nosed question, which is they should be. You should give off and should ask hard questions to those candidates. So that was one question. Let me bring up another one.
As we say in Detroit, what up, though? So yesterday I read that there is a new opportunity agenda, a plan for Black men, which includes a proposal of forgivable loans up to $20,000 for 1 million Black entrepreneurs. What would you say to the people that would consider the timing of this proposal as political timing? And how would you speak to the sentiment that support for Black men is only sought out during election cycles and feels that building trust requires consistent engagement and genuine investment into the community outside of election periods and political benefits for politicians, and may view that some people in the Democrat Party use Black Americans to play identity politics?
So first of all, thank you for your question and for being here. I've been in this race about 70 days. You can look at all my work before those 70 days to know that what I'm talking about right now is not new and is not for the sake of winning this election. This is about a long-standing commitment, including the work that I've done as vice president and before when I was senator and before that. In fact, a lot of what I'm doing that is about my economic agenda and opportunity economy was born out of the work I did as vice president, before that as senator most recently, to get access to capital for our entrepreneurs. The work that I did in the Senate was about getting a couple billion more dollars into our community banks, and then building on that when I became vice president, I created it's called the Economic Opportunity Council, bringing in some of the biggest banks and technology companies to put more into the community banks. And
So I'll pause that because I mentioned about this on her agenda for Black men. 1 million small business loans forgivable up to $20,000. That was a sit down she did with Charlamagne the God. You can say, and I'll consider Charlamagne the middle, but he has been he has publicly said, hey, he's a Democrat, but he's a no BS Democrat in my opinion, because he's criticized the Democratic Party many a times as much as the right on the Republican side. So that was a conversation. You can catch the interview on YouTube. But she also went on Fox News and sat down with Brett Baier, excuse me. Let me play you a few clips from that.
Voters tell pollsters all over the country and here in Pennsylvania that immigration is one of the key issues that they're looking at this election, and specifically the influx of illegal immigrants from more than 150 countries. How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration, because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but just a number. Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point. Okay, the point is that we have a broken immigration system that needs to be repaired.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a
an
rough estimate
immigration
of
system
6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get you the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
So that right there was Brett Baier, Fox News. I believe Special Report, I think, is the title of his show. And I'm running a little low on time, but I will continue talking more about this on the next show because I do want to play a few more sound bites of that sit down that they did that she did on Fox News. The reason why I brought this up, guys, is because right now it's looking like, I want to ask you guys a question. Do you think media, with these sit down interviews that each candidate has been having, whether if it's with CBS News, Fox News, CNN, and any of the, popular news outlets, do you think is helping them or hurting them? Even going on podcasts, because it has been said that the Harris team has reached out or is working on details on trying to get her on Joe Rogan's podcast, which I think would be amazing. I think that would be, because for one, not just because his podcast averages around like 14 and a half, maybe 15 million listeners, but the fact of the matter is, Joe Rogan is not, in my opinion, yes, he has liberal views, but he's been on the fence as like, yeah, he might be liberal, but he really embraces a lot of the conspiracy theory vibes, which in my opinion is more on the right leaning. You know what I mean? Like he brings on, guys like Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, Tulsi Gabbard. He loves Tulsi Gabbard. That's somebody he will stand behind if she would have ran for president. You know what I mean? So it's just he's iffy. So I say all that to say is, yes, do the media just to shut people up that criticize you for not doing it. But I look at it as like, I don't think it helps their campaigns, because here's the thing. Trump is going to always do media outlets that favors him. He just did a town hall with Harrison Faulkner of Fox News in a small town of Georgia, a town that adores Trump, literally kiss the feet of Trump. That's his bread and butter. He's going to be on or just did a sit down with Patrick something David, PPD is his podcast. He's considered independent, but he caters. He really he gives off that he's more right leaning, right? So again, Trump is going to platforms that love him. Likewise, Kamala Harris, in my opinion. Now, of course, she knew that Brett Baer was not going to give her, a cakewalk of questions. She knew that. So again, I think she just mainly do that just to say, hey, look, I attempted it. I went in the lion's den. I succeeded. I did a 30-minute interview. You can't say I'm running away from questioning. You can't say I'm avoiding the hard-nosed questions. Now, does she answer them properly? Does she answer them, in my opinion, not really. And Brett Baer is a fair person. I think majority of his questions were fair. I think some of them were Republican talking points. Again, the network is right-leaning, very right-leaning. It's a conservative network. Brett Baer has his own show. He has superiors that he needs to make sure that they're happy so he can continue to get a check. But I just think at the end of the day, certain media right now is not helping or hurting. I think a lot of people who are a part of the base has already made their decision on who they're going to be voting for. For the undecideds, I think they need to rely on reading policies, reading their administration. Use Google. Just go on Google and research everybody's administration's accomplishments and their flaws, and read their upcoming policies in the new election cycle. For the new election cycle, just read them, and then you can find it for yourself to be like, okay, look, this I can align with, this I can't. It's that simple, y'all. It's that simple. Like I said, my friends, I'm going to continue on reading more sound bites of the sit down that VP Kamala Harris did with Brett Baer, and I'll give you a few clips of that. And then I have a bigger question I would like to talk about, or not question, but topic I'd like to talk about: the Democratic Party and the black community, especially, specifically black males versus the Democratic Party. We're going to talk about it on the next show. So y'all, my friends, continue to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show weeknights at 11 p.m. on WDJY 99.1 FM Straight Talk. You can listen on any podcast platform, as well watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Take care, my friends. Make sure you vote. Vote. Your vote is your voice. And if you want to be heard, then you got to vote. Take care, my friends. I'll see you next time.